Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany. Welcome back, or welcome if you've never been here before. Today I'm going to share my reaction to the season premiere of Bridgerton Season 2. I'm very excited about this. We finally get to discuss, okay? Before I get into it, I want to talk about how these videos are going to be structured. I would like to start with a recap, okay? Summarize all of the poignant plot points within the episode. If there's anyone clicking on this video and feels as though, Miss, I don't know you, I'm just here for the rundown, there will be a timestamp linked below so that you can skip past all of my antics and get straight to the nectar. It's okay, I completely understand. Next, I would like to give you, let's call it a highlight reel. The things that I loved, things that maybe gave me pause, or possible theories that I might have, because I'm gonna be coming to you straight off the couch and I will be doing these reactions as I go along throughout this series. Next, we have to discuss book accuracy, how the episode measures up to the words of Julia Quinn. As a book lover, I feel like it's my duty. And lastly, I want to talk about the creative liberties within the show, whether or not I'm liking those changes. So today we will be discussing episode 1. And then Bridgerton week will begin on Tuesday the 29th on my channel. During Bridgerton week, I will be releasing an episode or a reaction a day for the remaining 7 episodes within the season. So I just feel like we need a weekend of reverence. Tuesday should give enough time for everybody to get on the same page in terms of finishing. And you know, I'm not trying to get spoiled for the show, so I don't want to do that to you. And getting these videos out in an authentic way is going to slow down my viewing. I don't think binging the show is going to be a good idea for me, because future knowledge of what's going to happen will absolutely affect my interpretation of whatever we're talking about in the moment. So I'm just going to do this as I go along, and I believe that the housekeeping is done. So let's get into the recap. For capital R, rake. In this episode, the season has begun. Eloise is dreading her debut and being in the shadow of her sister, last season's diamond. Anthony is on the market as well, but he's treating this like a business merger. I believe the criteria is tolerable, dutiful, with childbearing hips and a brain, okay? Yet his assessment of this season's crop, because that is how he is treating these women, is cut short by the return of Lady Whistledown to her quill, and to Eloise's delight. We get some behind the scenes of Penelope's secret operation where she's taking secret carriages and, I don't know, growing accents to negotiate with printers while advocating for the newsies like a freaking boss-ass queen, okay? I apologize. This section is meant to be objective. Moving on. The Featheringtons are struggling financially as they await the arrival of the new Lord Featherington. Meanwhile, Anthony is interviewing these women, okay, and none of them are meeting his high standards. So of course, he needs some release from this trying duty, and we do get some skin in this episode. We get a montage of Anthony's rigor, okay? I'm gonna take the pun, but I did mean his role as a Viscount. Okay, until one day he's riding on horseback and someone whizzes by looking as though they're in need of assistance. So he goes after the hasty rider that jumps over the roadblock that stops him dead in his tracks, and he quickly learns that his horsemanship has been bested by a woman. And this is Kate and Anthony's meet cute, where he's finally intrigued by someone and she's vexed by his unneeded assistance. At this point, identities remain concealed. Later we find out that Edwina, Kate, and her stepmother are staying at Lady Danbury's. Later on at the ball, we get the tea on Mary Sharma's scandal of marrying a working class man with a child for love. And soon after, Kate overhears Anthony's Regency locker room talk where he's not meaning to marry for love, but for breeding, and a woman befitting the title Viscountess. After reading him for filth, Edwina is named this season's Diamond, and she shares her first dance with Anthony, where she's acing all of his interview questions, which leads to her insisting that he meet her sister, the woman that's going to have to approve of their courtship. And the big reveal enters the chat. Kate and Anthony meet on new footing, and Kate puts her foot down and tells Edwina that she is not ever to see Anthony again. And lastly, another game is initiated between Lady Whistledown and the Queen. So that is what we're dealing with, and I'm ready to move on to the highlight reel. Now, I'm gonna try very hard not to bring in book accuracy because the show departs from that. However, let's just start out by saying that I was living for seeing Penelope win, okay? I will insert my reaction to that, although I'll say turn down your headphones, okay? I apologize in advance. Go, girl!
I am off to the market with my maid, Mama. I have just a tiny bit of pin money left under.
There is, of course, another unknown identity at present, though this one you will be able to unearth.
You go, girl!
Season's diamond, wherever.
One of the things that I wanted the show to do was to showcase the unassuming powerhouse that Penelope is, and the incredible feat that it must be for her to not only keep Lady Whistledown anonymous, but running. Oh, I was living for the accent that she grew in minutes and her telling the printer what the price was gonna be. And it was very odd to watch her family struggling. I mean, selling the damn candlesticks while she's sitting on a fortune. Oh, I also enjoyed the skin that we got to see. In fact, I know I'm gonna be throwing up an image for you. And so, I mean, let's just view this together. I'm not sure what you'll be getting because of YouTube's guidelines, but let me just look here. This is very artistic. We're getting a frame within a frame with the painting in the background that's mirroring the beautiful woman draped on the bed. And I think that Jonathan Bailey makes this art within art within art. So that was very nice. Let me know if there's more artwork in the show, if you'd like me to like break that down. It's a section we could add. But just request that if you'd like to see it. We still have a few days until Bridgerton week. Let's move on to the next. They're meet cute. Now, this is a departure from the books, but I did like that this scene screamed that Anthony will not be taking the reins or control when it comes to Kate. I still got that like easy verbal volley between them, and I like that she catches him off guard because he does skip a beat and do a double take. So far, I'm enjoying how Simone is portraying Kate. Her wit is cutting and she's headstrong with a purpose, and it also feels warm because I'm feeling that sisterly devotion. And I also kind of noticed that the show is trying to liken her to Lady Danbury as they're like vying for control in terms of prospects. And Lady Danbury does smack down that cane, okay? I like that she puts her in line and the moment that comes out of that, because it's heartfelt and it aligns their efforts. Now, I'm not sure about the backstory when it comes to the Sheffields, but I did enjoy walking away from that scene knowing of the sacrifices that Kate has made for her sister. And Edwina surprised me during the ball, okay? She was so, like, confident and coy. I felt like I should be taking notes, honey. I clocked her training in the poise. And watch it again. See if you notice what I did. Because for me, she transformed from a young miss, you know, skewing very young, into a lady. Letting him take the lead, stroking that ego. I suspect she's going to charm the pants off of Anthony, check off all of his boxes, and my hope is that it's Kate, okay, that makes the boxes not count and makes him chuck away all of his practical reasons. I will get into my thoughts on this alluded to love triangle in Creative Liberties, but outside of that, I love the choices that were made in this scene. I think a standout scene for me though, and like just as a lover of the books, was between Eloise and Penelope, okay? I loved that friendship moment between them because in the books, it isn't really outright said, but their position within society is very different. You know, Eloise is choosing to be a spinster in the books and Penelope is just accepting that fate. So to have them sort of discuss their different viewpoints in the show and talk about how, although it's very different, both of their positions are stifling and yet they still remain friends and are able to support and comfort each other through that. It was just a gleeful moment of joy. I loved seeing that friendship on screen. And I think that that is a scene that's exemplar of giving me the feeling that I got from the books without it being followed verbatim on screen. I think we should move into book accuracy. And I already have a feeling that this section is going to be a hefty one when it comes to the show because they are like really pulling elements, and I mean elements, from future books. So I'm gonna start off by saying that Eloise doesn't debut till like, I believe, book 5, okay? And the way that they portray Anthony's role as a Viscount is very like monotonous and mundane, and I really do prefer how Julia really highlights the personal aspect of the role. I mean, she mentions how he's at every single recital, anything important of his siblings, and he always does everything as if he believes his father would have it be done. And that's very endearing, and it brings in the warmth. And, you know, Anthony's reputation is in Lady Whistledown. That is how, you know, Kate knows of him. And in the show, although she doesn't have the sort of social terrain down, she almost appears a little bit more in control. You know that Anthony isn't going to get a leg up on her. And in the books, she goes in having the lay of the land. And after their meet cute, it's almost as if seemingly Anthony has bested her because she does walk away from that dance in fear that he will get what he wants. And so I'm already kind of seeing a few differences there. And, you know, the Sheffield's manipulation financially is non-existent in the books. But I will say the fact that they have waited this long, or at least Kate has, to debut along with her sister does ring true in terms of their financial hardship. And I also kind of want to note the shift in Lady Whistledown's tone because she is influenced by Eloise. In a way, it kind of mirrors how it felt for me while I was reading the books and gleaning for clues as to who Lady Whistledown was. However, in book 2, Julia Quinn didn't even know who Lady Whistledown was. And at a certain point, it could have been either Eloise or Penelope. It's really not until book 3 that we start getting those clues that lean towards who it actually is. I say all that to say that the shift in tone serves as a clue for the characters that don't know that it's Penelope yet. especially Eloise. So in that way, it can kind of mirror the reading experience, but she doesn't ever really shift tone. And I'm not sure what the show is doing between Lady Whistledown and the Queen, but we'll have to see. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the Queen in the show, because I absolutely do. Now, as far as creative liberties, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I feel about this love triangle because of what it could do to their sisterly dynamic and to my interpretation of Kate as she's pining over the same man, reluctantly so, but she is. And already I can tell that Edwina is going to be far more into Anthony on the show than she was in the books, and that could lead to an escalation in murky waters. Okay, I know a lot of us like things messy, but I think a love triangle that involves sisters should be handled with care. I do like that this episode set up the enemies to lovers dynamic. I'm here for that. I'm okay with them changing the meet cute. Like, I'm, pleased with the episode overall. Just one other thing that I'm not enjoying. I understand why Anthony can be callous in his pursuit to carry out his duties. I do not like how that manifests in the way that he talks to Violet. Okay? It grates me because this is the woman that bore the family that he is tasked to take care of. Okay, she is the love of his late father, and it's just not how I see them on the page. They are a team and a unit. The entire family in general, no matter how much they jest, they are a unit. And so I don't find it endearing at all how he, almost like manages Violet. It's not the Anthony that I know, and I have to be honest. But on a lighter note, because my camera died, apparently I'm doing too much, I cannot in this episode without mentioning that whoever is doing the wig work for the Queen deserves a damn award, okay? The hairography is everything. Also, Lady Danbury, she is a freaking scene stealer on page and on screen. I absolutely love her. And like I said, overall, I enjoyed this episode. I'm just noticing some departures already from the book, and I hope we can skew it a little bit back because like I've said, I'm not a scoffer at creative liberties taken. I'm really about characterization. So as long as we don't meddle with that too much, I'll be okay. I think I'm gonna close this video out here and go back to the couch so I can watch episode 2. I hope to see you during Bridgerton week. It will be a reaction a day, okay, for the last 7 episodes. We're gonna break this sucker down. We will all come here armed with our opinions and ready to discuss. I'm very excited about it. And I wanna thank you for joining me. Happy watching. I hope it's happy. They need to get this right. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.